Oh, hi. How you doing? Ultimate back here again. Just doing a little bit of a woods walk, having a little bit of fun with some classic shotguns. Hey, you wanna know what? Why don't you come along? I got a couple more to show you. It's gonna be lots of fun. Alrighty then. Well, how y'all doing today, guys? Hope well. I'm doing well myself. You know, it's late August, well, mid-August. It's the 16th is the time of recording. And I've really been itching to fire some classic shotguns. And a couple of them are ones that you'll see often, and one maybe not so much. But just give a good talk over here, and then of course what you all want, a little bit of shooting action. Alright. First up is the Stevens 1913 patent single shot 12 gauge. That 30-inch long barrel and a full choke. Exposed hammer, no safety. Yeah, this is just an old beater I picked up at an antique show when I was 14 for $65. This gun is 100 years old and still runs like a top. The wood's splitting, it's lost almost all of its bluing and it's gone to brown, but still shoots rather sweet. Next up is a very nice pump action shotgun, one of the slickest action shotguns you will ever find. It is the J.C. Higgins Model 20 in 12 gauge. This one is fitted with a 20-inch vent rib 2-bead barrel and is also equipped with a power pack compensator and choke system. Took me a second there to remember exactly. The neat thing is, this gun was manufactured from 1946 up into the early 60s, I believe. It has a removable choke system, and unlike the poly chokes, which you'll see on a lot of older shotguns, and the adjustable poly chokes, the choke does not face out, it goes inwards. And like the wad stripper chokes that you'll find today on some waterfowling shotguns. This one tends to like to slow the wad down more than the shot and condense it. While they didn't exactly have plastic wadding back then, that didn't come along till later, I don't know how effective it is with original shot shells to the era of this, but it works mighty well and is a great all-around field and duck blind gun. I've taken many ducks with this. I've taken, I believe, at least 12 or 13 geese with this. In fact, when I started waterfowl hunting, this is the gun in my hands, and this was the gun that I took my first turkey with. And about that slick action, yeah, the gun is clear. If I pull the trigger, you'll see it wants to go down. Not very much effort is needed. It is one of the smoothest guns. In fact, if you hold it by the hip and fire it without your forehand on the pump, it will fling the action open. Literally fling it open and eject the cartridge. And prepare the next one in the lifter. It is an excellent shotgun. Absolutely love it. And of course, what would be a classic shotgun video without John Moses Browning finest achievement? At least that's what he thought, what historians say. This is a Remington Model 11. This was produced in 1947, this particular one. This has the late model safety, unlike the earlier ones. Remington originally started producing these in 1910. The Auto 5 came out a few years before that and was produced by Fabrique Nationale for Browning, along with his small caliber pocket autoloaders. Well, and some of them weren't quite pocket guns, but I digress. This one, funny story, the later models, some of them apparently were not equipped with a takedown notch, which you will see right here. I had to make that into this gun most recently because something happened where the firing pin retaining pin, that's a mouthful, sheared, came loose, bent the receiver, and in the process also bent the charging handle. So both the charging handle and the firing pin retaining pin were replaced. But in order to get the bolt out to replace those, you have to drift the pin from left to right out of the gun. But if there's no access port, sorry Chuck, you're out of luck. But I took care of that. Instead of taking it to a gunsmith, did it myself with a hand file, spent a good hour making sure I did it right, and it works great. This one has a 28-inch full choke barrel. Excellent shotgun. You'll definitely see this one in action, and it fires really fast, which is cool. And last but not least, this is a 1937-38 date manufactured Model 12 Winchester. Nice sound. Classic sound. This one is chambered in 16 gauge. It has a 28-inch modified choke, silver bead, and it is missing a couple parts. That's why it does have a little bit of electrical tape up there just to keep that barrel band from drifting. This one is also an older gun. This was my uncle's. He gave it to me, I believe. This was my first shotgun, period. This is my rabbit gun. The 16 gauge is excellent. It will take whatever you need to. Carries like a 20, shoots like a 12. You know, I wish 16 gauge maybe even came out in a 3-inch 16 gauge with new guns. I think it's a great cartridge. It's honestly been dying a slow death for 60 years. I don't think it's going away anytime soon. But the 16 gauge and the Model 12 is just a classic gun. I've handled and fired the 12 gauge variant. You know, they're pretty much the same, just a little bit heavier. I've never handled the 20 nor the different model that was actually a 410, but very similar to this. Anyhow, I digress. Let's get to shooting, guys. Enough of me jabbing, right? Alright guys, first up is the Stevens single shot. Again, this was manufactured over 100 years ago. It is among the first patent. It originally had, actually, if you know anything about these types of shotguns, the original patents had a small taper firing pin. They were very prone to breaking. When I purchased this, it originally had that. Within, I don't know, 200 rounds of me having it, which was actually a lot for that to last, it snapped. I got another one at an upcoming gun show, and that one, again, about 75 rounds later, snapped. So, I finally purchased, and they're relatively cheap when you can find them, only a couple dollars, the larger, later patent. I believe it was the 1914, 15, or 17 patent, a firing pin. I overbored it out, stuck the new one in, and put the drift pin in. And man, I'll tell you what, she runs like a champ. So let's just give her a fire here. And these are just Federal 1 1/8 ounce number 8 shot target loads. Notice it's pushing me around a wee bit. That full choke doesn't number though. I'd love to take a turkey with this sometime. But does push it a bit. It's a very light gun. In fact, it actually came with an original leather recoil reducer. You know, the old timers used to use. That one is the one that you'll see on the Remington Model 11, actually. And my shoulder's going to get sore if I keep doing that without a recoil reducer. So, you know, that's pretty much about as exciting as it gets. It's just a single shot, but God love her, right? All right. Next up, J.C. Higgins Model 20. All right, guys. This is the J.C. Higgins Model 20, as I said. Got the power pack corn cob compensator / choke system. I love that. Looks so mean, especially when you take that choke out. It's amazing. I love this shotgun just because of how smooth it is, let alone just the quality manufacture. For something that originally sold for between, I think, $55 to, oh God, maybe $100 back in the day. Excellent, excellent gun. High Standard made this gun for Sears and Roebuck Company. That's why it's called J.C. Higgins Model 20. They called it the Model 200. High Standard did. I've seen both those and these on the market. They're not often do you come by them, but they're very high quality. Let's just put one more in. So we've got 6, and you know, they don't usually retail for more than $150 to $350. That's about as much as I would pay for them anyhow. But I think they're definitely a better shotgun than a Mossberg or a Remington, just quality-wise. They're very well put together and just an excellent, excellent piece of American manufacturing. This one's around 60 years old now, 50 to 60 years old. And it's still running like a champ. Most of the wear that's on it right now is actually from me, because when I got this was in practically new condition. So enough of me jabbing about it. Let's fire it off. And you notice a lot less recoil because it's a lot heavier than that single shot, but you also have that compensator on the end. And while these are just target loads, that was my bad, you know, it does handle duck loads very well. If you use the appropriate duck loads, number 3s and number 2s, don't go any bigger than that. You don't want to ruin the choke. Especially if you got a tighter choke and not instead of the, that's it, I guess, looser ones. Man, it does well. It's not the best pointing shotgun because of this barrel, but it did come in many different barrel variants. I would say this is probably one of the more desirable, just because of the way it looks. It's absolutely awesome. The jeweled bolt, just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But the one cool thing about this is it doesn't slam fire because it has a small disconnect. It's very light. Feels like it can slam fire, but it can't because the recoil resets the trigger a little bit. But you can fire it very fast, and I hope to demonstrate that for you right now. Here we go. Oh boy. Well, I didn't quite get that chain going, but let's see if I can do it. Got to relax a little bit. Kind of got a little bit of a chain going there. Let me grab a couple of rounds and see if I can get at least a 3-round quote-unquote burst off. Alright, we'll try for 5. I grabbed 4. You gotta ride it really gentle. You don't really want to, you want to tighten up, but it's all about finesse with this thing, and I haven't done it in a long time. I've been separated from her for quite a while. She was back in New York for a long time. But she's back. She's down in Virginia now at her new home, and let's rock and roll. Man, I just can't seem to do it. You'll just have to believe me, I guess. All right, there's 3 more. Oh, I suck. Well, maybe I'll be able to cut in some footage of me actually doing it, but it's cool. Look at that power pack. Getting a little bit of carbon on there. Oh, that's cool. All right, time for the Auto 5. All right, now we got the beautiful Remington Model 11. Called an Auto 5 earlier. Technically not right, but essentially it's exactly the same, except it was made in Ilion, New York by Remington, and it does not have a magazine cutoff. These were produced from 1910 until 1947, maybe 48 or in the early 48, not quite sure about that, but it was replaced by the Remington Model 1148 and the Remington Model 48 Sportsman. Immediately following that, Remington started experimenting with gas guns, with gas ports, all that good stuff that eventually led up to the Remington 1100 series, and then the 1187, and of course today the Remington Versamax shotguns. The Model 11, the 1148 and 48, which those two are essentially the same gun, all work on the Browning long recoil principle. That is, the barrel recoils all the way back into the receiver with the bolt. The bolt holds, the barrel flies back forward, ejects the cartridge, the spent cartridge hull, and then releases the bolt to pick up the next cartridge from the carrier and reloads the gun. Alright, this particular model will hold 4 in the tube. Always forget. And you have to depress, that was a good burp there, the bolt release to slide a cartridge in through the lift gate. Alright, let's just put one down range to see. Very unique feeling, very nice feeling. It just, long recoil operated firearms just feel right. There's something really nice about them. Kind of let that slip off my shoulder, but who cares? Alright, let's wrap off 3. Very, very fast action. Might come back to this one. The camera is, of course, trying to die on me, so I'm gonna get the Model 12 out. This one's fully loaded with 7 rounds. Has a 6-round tube, 1 in the chamber, 7, like I said before, a great rabbit gun. Although this one's beaten up, it ain't worth a lot. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It's special to me. It's a lovely shotgun, and I got a water jug downrange. You won't see it, but I'm just going to do it because I'm having fun. Disintegrated. Smells good, guys. Smells good. Love the smell of shotgun powder in the evening. Well, all I can say is I miss shooting this. 16 gauge is hard to come by, and I broke down. I'm like, I'll put a magazine or so through it. But it's a wonderful, wonderful gun. Just points so well. Light, recoil isn't that bad, especially when you've got a decelerator pad, you know, a rubber pad on it. Just a great, great old shotgun. I say that about every single one of these, but it really is true. They're excellent, excellent firearms. And man, can't gab enough about them. And you'll probably see me gabbing a little bit more, especially about that Model 20. Planning on reviewing it because there isn't a ton of information out there. I'm going to do some research for you guys and post it up so you got something to look at and you got something to hear when you want to know something about the Model 20 by J.C. Higgins, Sears and Roebuck Company. Anyways, Winchester Model 12, 16 gauge. Woo! Got a little hot. Yeah. Now this gun you can slab fire, unlike the Model 20, which seems like it should, but it doesn't. This gun does. You hold the trigger down, will stand fire. It's kind of tricky actually to get it to want to keep going. Maybe the 12 is easier. Easier, but I haven't tried it with the 12 gauge yet. Well, let's put some more rounds through the Model 11. I really want to do that. All right. All right. We got the Model 11 back out. I haven't figured out quite the fast way to reload this thing. I don't think it's really a speed reload kind of gun, but oops. Well, this is more where that came from. You need him anyways. Only holds 4 in the tube. But you know, I hope to maybe hold some lead sort of non-toxic shot, and what I mean by that is like the bismuth or whatever, the stuff that compresses but won't hurt old barreled, old standard choked, full choked guns, and really do some waterfowl hunting with this. Then again, I might come across a barrel and cylinder, skeet cylinder, or modified, improved modified, and just use that instead of the original barrel. Usually I've seen them at gun shows anywhere from $50 to $100. They're not that expensive, just depends upon what kind you want. So, enough of me gabbing again. Let's do some tree trimming here. I see a dead branch. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Whew. Ain't nothing like an old John Moses Browning patent gun. Yeah, see, doesn't quite want to reload that fast, does she? Is that about right? Oh yeah, okay, it was. Alright, that's 5. Should I do it? Should I rip them off as fast as I can? I think I should. Alright, here we go. Woo! Yeah. That was fast. That's the fastest I've ever fired this thing. And oh man. Barrel's still smoking. Oh. That's fast. I tell you what, boy, that is fast. Well, I hope you enjoyed yourself. You know, this is kind of a quicker video, but you know, just some late summertime fun. More to come. As I said, I will be reviewing that J.C. Higgins Model 20, and it's going to be a good review. Quicker review, but everything you want to know about it, including disassembly, maintenance, talking points, how it's better than a Mossberg or Remington, I think, and a lot like the Mossberg, and holds a lot of the Mossberg strengths. But I digress. I'm babbling on again. Thanks again for joining us, guys, and remember, keep your powder dry. God bless you, and stay tuned. This is Ultimate History Buff 1, signing off. See ya. Man, that was fast.